Well, a big breaking story we're discussing today. Punjab Health Minister Vijay Singla, he has been sacked by Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. Just a while back, the announcement was made by the Chief Minister in a video message which was shared with the media houses, in which he said that since there was a zero tolerance with corruption, this step has been taken. Perhaps many would believe quite an unprecedented step by the Chief Minister, not just sacking his minister, but also going hitting the social media with this announcement, and also getting the Vigilance Department file a case against the former minister Vijay Singla and getting him arrested. So clearly a big story today which broke in the morning, and to discuss with me more on this story are my two senior colleagues, Vishav and Jupinder Jeet Singh. To you first, Vishav. First tell me about this particular case. क्या था इसमें, क्या हुआ?
Basically what happened, Rohit, कि ये जो केस था, it pertains to Punjab Health Systems Corporation, which is responsible for procurement of medical equipments, medicines and everything. Basically, Punjab Health Systems Corporation is the place where the money lies. Right. तो वहाँ पे जो था, continuously shady people were roaming in that building. Even we got information from our sources in the third week of March, within a couple of days after this cabinet came into existence. They took the oath that the usual suspects which were in dubious business in the previous governments, whether it was Akali government, whether it was Congress government, those are the people who are running show in the health department. So basically ये जो सारा कुछ था, इसको मतलब ये तब से ही चल रहा था, whether it was procurement, pertain to procurement of medicines or expensive health equipments also. तो इस जो मिस्टर विजय सिंगला थे, तो इनके ध्यान में बहुत सारी चीज़ें आई थ्रू द मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स. इवन ट्रिब्यून broke 2 stories regarding procurement. But somehow I still remember exactly his words when we approached him for the version. He said, okay, we do not want to indulge into negative things. Right. So when there is a case of loss of exchequers money, whether you act against those people or you do not act against, it right. Clear your attentions. Right.
इस केस में, पर्टिकुलर केस में, ये जो जिस पे एलिगेशंस है इस पर्टिकुलर केस में जिसमें इनको अरेस्ट भी किया है, ये क्या था, कौन इनको अप्रोच कर रहा था और किस तरह से इन्होंने एविडेंसेस कलेक्ट किया इसके आगे?
इसकी ना जो बैकग्राउंड है, आप सरकार के लिए जो हेल्थ और एजुकेशन, दे आर द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्टर्स, इम्पॉर्टेंट सेक्टर्स. तो उसमें क्या था भी, यहाँ पे ये दे ब्रॉट वेरी शार्प सेट ऑफ ऑफिसर्स इन बोथ द डिपार्टमेंट्स. तो हेल्थ में 10 days back health department got new managing director Punjab Health Systems Corporation. उससे पहले जो हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी थे, दो ही इज़ अ वेरी जूनियर ऑफिसर. जनरली जो चार्ज होता है ये प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी लेवल के बंदे को दिया जाता है, बट एक सेक्रेटरी लेवल के ऑफिसर, बट ही वाज नोन फॉर क्विक डिसीजन मेकिंग और काफ़ी शार्प हैं. तो वहाँ पे मतलब देयर वाज समथिंग बिल्डिंग अप के जो इसमें कुछ ठीक नहीं चल रहा है. तो उसमें भी हॉस्टिलिटी बन रही थी मिनिस्टर और ऑफिसर्स के बीच में. तो उसमें से जो मतलब ये सारा सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स है, इसमें से किसी ने चीफ मिनिस्टर को डायरेक्टली अप्रोच किया फ्रॉम सम ऑफ द ऑफिसर्स के हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री इज़ सीकिंग 1% किकबैक, तो इसका क्या करना है. तो व्हाट वी हैव कम टू नो फ्रॉम सोर्सेज, इसके 10 दिन पहले हुआ. उसके बाद CM हिमसेल्फ swung into action. तो he laid a trap, and Mr. Singla, the way he recklessly doing all these things, he simply walked into that trap.
And is there any audio recording which was played out to Mr. Singla?
अभी मतलब the CM, what the CM has shared के right. उनके पास clear evidence है. Right. तो उन्होंने Mr. Singla confessed his misdeeds. Right. तो after that he took the action.
ऑल्सो विशव आपने एक स्टोरी की थी कुछ दिनों पहले अबाउट द सैनिटाइजर स्कैम. उस पर आपने सिंगला साहब तब वो मिनिस्टर थे उनको कोट किया. उन्होंने कहा कि वी विल टेक एक्शन अगेंस्ट द ऑफिशियल्स. बट उसके बाद कुछ हुआ नहीं. तो इट वॉज एन आयरनी पर्सनिफाइड दैट एक तरफ से कह रहे हैं कि एक्शन लेंगे पर अब खुद ही पता चला कि ही इज इन्वॉल्व. सो वर दीज एलिमेंट्स, वर दीज इंडिकेटर्स इंडिकेटिव दैट कुछ गड़बड़ था मंत्रालय में?
बिल्कुल. रोहित, क्या हुआ अभी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से पंजाब जब कोविड ब्रेकआउट हुआ 2020 में, तो एमरजेंसी रिस्पांस एंड हेल्थ सिस्टम्स पैकेज दिया. स्पेशल पैकेज जो पंजाब को था वो था 198 करोड़ रुपीज़ का. तो प्रीवियस गवर्नमेंट में उन्होंने मतलब उसमें बहुत, इट वाज अ ओपन सीक्रेट कि उसमें से अननेसेसरली परचेज हो रही है. मतलब उसमें वेंटिलेटर्स परचेज किए गए जो कभी भी अनपैक नहीं हुए. मतलब दे डिड नॉट नो हाउ टू यूज़ दोज हाई एंड इक्विपमेंट्स, बट द ओनली फोकस वाज ऑन हाउ टू स्पेंड मैक्सिमम मनी. तो उसमें मतलब देयर वर इंस्टांसेस के जो पैसा था, मतलब सेम थिंग व्हेन इलेक्शन कमीशन इज़ प्रोक्योरिंग one thing for rupees 100 and they were paying same thing, paying 3 times price for the same thing. So it was brought into the knowledge of health minister through news reports, but he failed to act. So he was privy to all the scams.
So in fact उसका inaction जो था that was sort of cover for his misdeeds as is emerging now.
Yeah, बिल्कुल. तो उसमें basically he inherited a system which was corrupt to its core. तो उन्होंने उस सिस्टम को कंटिन्यू करने की कोशिश की कि मेरा फर्स्ट शुरू से ही मेरा मीटर डाउन हो जाए जो है.
So there you have now Jupinder ji. First, the politics of it. The optics very important. Here is a chief minister who hits the social media, comes to media with his video message saying that I've sacked a senior minister with these complaints of corruption. Not just sacking him, but getting him arrested. Now the optics very important. He's telling the other party, see, I am a man. Here's a party which acts against corrupt officials. How important this optics?
Yeah, it is actually very amazing. As you said, it was unprecedented and unheard of. This is not how usually action against corruption is done. Usually things happen that there is a complaint and then an inquiry is ordered, and if it involves a minister, let alone an MLA, then there will be a 3-member committee or other committees and it will take years. And by the time there will be new government or something, But this time it is direct action. And if Bhagwant Mann wants to send a message, then the message is very clear that he means business. Whatever his claims on zero tolerance of corruption is, at least with this action they have lived up to the claims which they have made.
But the claims, the counter claims from opposition would be that there is a minister, AAP is not absolutely clean. There is a minister who was indulging in corruption, now got caught. But the opposition, would target the Aam Aadmi Party with this fact that, there was a minister who was working within the system right under the nose of the chief minister. So what would be the counter argument from the Aam Aadmi Party?
Yeah, well, I think opposition also has some arguments because it's hardly 3 months, and not even 3 months. And your first minister, and probably first of his deals, like my colleague Vishwa was telling us, that the talk was going on. And so in his first deals itself, he is, indulging in corruption. And so there is this talk also that Bhagwant Mann, optics is one thing, but maybe he is preempting that before this goes to media or to opposition, so let me take an action and become a hero in this way. So how long would they be able to persist with this? Will this stand the court of law also? And because so far Vigilance Bureau has not been involved. It's an anti-corruption cell. The FIR is under the Prevention of Corruption Acts, So lot remains to be seen. I think the only argument, and like already the AAP leadership in Delhi and the national leadership, they are already going gaga over this decision of Bhagwant Mann's. So trying to blunt the opposition's charge on this. But yes, in a way it is sad state of affairs also, that because the Aam Aadmi Party came with the promise of changing the way politics is run. So that seems true if we see the action. But did they, all the leaders which they chose, the tickets which were given after, so much of checks and balances. Like the field reports were taken, there were so many counter checks, and a person is indulging in corruption right from day one. As Vishwa said, the so-called, there are a lot of agent officials, like he has been exposing them. and they were seen there at the oath ceremony itself. From day one, they had surrounded this minister, and probably could be, you know, in the other departments also. So yes, AAP, it will take a lot of effort from AAP to claim that they were clean.
And also, Jubidar, about the scope of the investigation, as you mentioned that anti-corruption cell will be investigating. Will they look at this particular case, or they are going to expand the horizon of investigation and inquire about other cases as well?
I think it should bring all the officials, the health officials, into the ambit. However things happening, you know, if the minister is charging 1% of commission, as my colleagues, you know, said just now, what share was going to the officials, who else were going, and you know, it should not. If AAP wants to set an example against corruption, then they should go to the root of all this. You know, it's just not that, you know, you did an optics, you arrested the minister also. Definitely very praiseworthy, but you know, will it go down to the barrel or not?
Vishal, एक और चीज़, one thing, how deep rooted is the system? You said these were people who were there in the previous government as well. They were the same ones who were moving around in the corridors of power. How deep rooted is the system, and how big a challenge it is going to be for Mr. Mann to actually break this nexus?
Actually, no, Rohit, the system is so ragged when it comes to healthcare in Punjab कि वहाँ पे जो लोगों के पास बेसिक मेडिसिन्स हैं, जो ब्लड प्रेशर की मेडिसिन्स हैं, अपना हाइपरटेंशन की मेडिसिन्स हैं, डायबिटीज़ की मेडिसिन, वो नहीं अवेलेबल हैं, बट दे आर बाइंग हाई एंड इक्विपमेंट्स विच इवन देयर स्टाफ इज़ नॉट ट्रेन टू ऑपरेट. तो वैसे जो इसमें क्या है, भी इनको जो किकबैक्स हैं, मतलब द sole focus of the Punjab Health Systems Corporation has remained in the past 15 years कि भी हम मैक्सिमम परचेज है जो वो कैसे करें.
और इसको तोड़ने के लिए, इस नेक्सस को तोड़ने के लिए और इसको पूरा ओवरहॉल करने के लिए कितना बड़ा चैलेंज होगा मान सरकार के लिए?
ये है बिल्कुल, क्योंकि बिकॉज जो यहाँ की ब्यूरोक्रेसी है वो भी इंट्रेंच्ड है इस सारे उसमें. तो वो कैसे, मतलब द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज इज के वो कैसे राइट जो ऑनेस्ट ऑफिशियल्स हैं उनको पिक करते हैं उसमें. तो इसमें से एग्जाम्पलरी पनिशमेंट क्या ऑफिशियल्स को मिलेगी, मिनिस्टर इज़ फाइन, बट दो द पीपल हु वर फैसिलिटेटिंग द करप्शन, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एक्शन इज टेकन अगेंस्ट देम, दैट विल डिसाइड.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, both of you. So there you have important points. The challenge for Mr. Mann is not just by arresting the minister. The biggest question is, you know, whether action will be taken against officials. As Vishwa mentioned, it's a very deep-rooted rot which is set into the health system. As he mentioned, that high-end equipments are being purchased, basic medicines being ignored because of the higher amount of kickbacks in those higher purchases. So that's something which is Mr. Mann will have to look into to ensure that, you know, such incidents are not repeated. And as we mentioned, optics wise it's fine that, you know, an action has been taken, but the fact that a minister within the couple of months of the cabinet taking over has been found indulging in corruption, that's something which the Mann government which need to address in the days to come. We'll keep on providing you all the latest updates on these stories. You can log on to our website tribuneindia.com and also on our other social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Meanwhile, thanks for joining in.